Welcome to Tuesday Travel Chat. I'm one of your hosts, Julia. And we've
Bob.
also got
Bob from Go Travel as well. And
yes,
two other
and today
special
we have
guests.
special guests, Ronda and Antoinette, two of our Go Travel advisors who recently took a group to Secrets Puerto Los Cabos. They're going to talk to us all about all the fun they had and their full experience. But first, we're going to step into today's headlines.
Well, glad to be here after a couple of weeks of time off. Let's start with some good headline news. Viking recently announced a world cruise that sold out in 2 days. So what they have done is they've taken another ship for 2023. They are duplicating the world cruise, but departing 3 days later. So there's always going to be a ship every 3 days, the same identical ship in the port. This second sailing is also almost sold out at this time. Minimum fare about $55,000 a person. So they're out there. People are going on the world cruises, especially in light of several that were canceled for 2022. So if you want to do a world cruise, call us today or call us yesterday.
Exactly. If 2021 wasn't happening, 2022, hey, people are ready. The space is going. So call your travel advisor on that one.
Yes.
In other good news, Disney annual passes are back. They go on sale September 8th. I know that we're here in Central Florida and we've got a lot of Disney fans here in Central Florida, but also throughout the States. And man, I know that this is something everybody's really excited about. The prices have gone up, but the perks are going to be even better. Mm-hmm. So if this is something you've been waiting for, keep an eye on that. September 8th. Disney has been going strong these past months. So it's awesome. What other good news, Bob?
Well, 50% of all the cruise ships sailing that are, 50% of all cruise ships that are in existence are sailing in the water at this point with paying guests. So that is a remarkable achievement to achieve, especially in the United States, considering we just started sailing with cruise ships June 26th of this year. So 50% of all cruise ships are back, handling everything very well. I have no fear that if you go on a cruise now, you're not going to experience anything different, and it's going to be nice to get back to a normal feel. So
I remember a year ago, Bob, when people were questioning, are we going to be able to cruise again? Is it even possible? Of course, there's been the ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster. Things are still continuously changing. We know that, we acknowledge that, but today we want to just look at the positive of the ships are back and we're getting there.
Right. And just about a year ago, the first ship went back into the water sailing with guests was MSC in Europe. So it's nice to see the growth. Royal Caribbean themselves have said they expect to be back completely by February. So that's a good sign. And more ships still being built and in the works. So it's all good. Use your future cruise credits now. If you have them, use them.
Exactly.
Book them. Call us. We can book them for you. Okay. Next thing, Margaritaville. Jimmy Buffett's famous Margaritaville resorts. They just launched a new resort collection in August of 21 in Mexico, right on the Riviera, Cancun. And they've just announced that in Puerto Cana, which is near Puerto Cana in Dominican Republic, that opens in about a month. Important thing for this, they're both all-inclusives, which is the first time Margaritaville has gone to an all-inclusive program. So there's a nice product. Margaritaville delivers a great product. And now that they're all-inclusive, it's even better.
Awesome. Now, looking into worldwide travel, this is something we're all trying to get back to, but again, the roller coaster.
Yes.
You'll see it in the news this week. The EU is set to propose travel restrictions on U.S. visitors. So keep watching. Bob, any further comments on that one?
Well, we're getting different messages. Like one message that I saw said, if you're vaccinated, you don't have a problem. Other one says, no, even if you're vaccinated, it depends on the vaccine and when it was given to you. So we're trying to gather all that information into one reliable source. That's our biggest question. There's too many things coming out. I do know that France now has the pass sanitaire, which means you have to get a pass ahead of time. We've just gone through it for some clients, and it worked. We got everything done, thank goodness. But that's where we come in as important to you. We know how to get it. Things changed literally 4 times in 1 week for the pass sanitaire. So it's very frustrating. Our job is to help you stop dealing with the frustration and getting you the right, correct information.
And I know that you were mentioning this morning in our team meeting about Croatia that
Yes.
after 170 days?
270 days. If you get a vaccine in 9 months, if you get a vaccine in March, if you're going to Croatia in February, you will need to get a booster shot. Vaccines are only good for 270 days for Austria and Croatia at this time. Now, most people these days, because they were vaccinated in March and April primarily, we're still good until December, January. But if you are planning a trip to Croatia for next year, we don't know what the rules are. If you have the opportunity to get the booster, get the booster. I did it last week.
Yeah, so it's continually changing. What's great though is we're getting used to these changes. We're getting used to this information. We're getting used to how to keep up to date with that information. And for those who have chosen not to get the vaccine, we have amazing trips here also in the United States if you want to wait until the world opens up in a different way. So yes, all kinds of interesting things this week, but I think now let's get to our featured event, and that's talking about beautiful secrets down in Mexico. I can't wait to hear. Trust me, I have seen some of the photos, and we're going to show you some of the photos in this broadcast. These ladies know how to throw a good party for their group. I want to go with them on their next party trip. But let's just take a sneak peek with this 1-minute video to see a little bit about the resort. All right. Wow. That just, I'm ready to go right now. Ladies, talk to us about the trip. Maybe Rhonda, give us a start on why you chose this fabulous resort and how the trip was.
So thank you, Julia. I had the opportunity of traveling to Cabo in 2019. I stayed at Secrets at that time, and I just fell in love with the resort, the city, the people. It was awesome. And it was a repeat experience this past month.
Antoinette?
Hey, Juliet. Yes, Rhonda had already went and reviewed the resort. So I decided that I was going to go, and we talked about it, bringing a group of people along with us because we travel in groups a lot. We bring a lot of friends, family, and other clients along with us on travel. And she said she thought this would be a great experience, and it really was.
Awesome.
I have a question for you both. I know the resort is it's beautiful, and it's spread out along a beautiful section of beach and things like that. What's the most impressive thing you saw or found at Puerto Los Cabos?
Well, we actually did a tour of the resort with one of their sales team members, and she told us a lot of things that we probably wouldn't have saw. Like a lot of people go to Cabos for whale watching. They actually have whale watching at the resort, so you don't have to pay to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have. It's all adult, so it's very surreal. It's really calming. It's just a very, very nice place to go. And it's absolutely beautiful. You get the water, you get the desert. It's like the best of both worlds.
Nice. Very nice.
And how many people did you take on your trip?
Wow, there were about 25 people
25
total that traveled down. So it really made for a fun experience. So although there were activities at the resort, when you have 25 people, you can also make your own party. So it was awesome.
I notice a lot from looking at the pictures that you shared with us. I know we're going to have more coming up. I've noticed there seems to be water everywhere, pools or something almost outside of every building and things like that. That looks very, very calming to me.
It is, Bob. They actually have there are two pools. One includes an infinity pool. There's one of the largest pool is for general access. Anyone can access that pool. But then they also had another pool that was for guests who purchased the preferred club option, and that was more of a private experience. It was a calmer experience. Whereas at the general pool, they had water activities, they had a DJ. So basically, depending upon your mood, if you wanted to do activities, you wanted to hear music and have fun, they had the general pool, but then they also had the preferred pool for the preferred club guests, which again was a more private and quiet experience.
Very nice. Rhonda, anything that you can add to this lovely scenario?
That view right there, that was my view. I had a swim out. I was on the standard. Again, they have the preferred side, but they also have a standard side. I was on the standard side of the resort, and you have oceanfront views. You have oceanfront views, ocean views, garden views, and you also have a swim out. I had the swim out, and it was great. I really loved it. You had your own plunge pool right there for you to access whenever you desired.
Wow. And you had a kitchen too.
I did not have a kitchen.
Okay. But this was
Antoinette stayed on a different side. Antoinette, can you add to what your experience?
So I stayed on the preferred side in an ocean view. The difference between my room and Rhonda's room, they were very similar. We had premium alcohol in our rooms. There was an outdoor jacuzzi, so everybody had an outdoor jacuzzi.
Wow.
We had our own, as she said, we had our own private pool where you didn't have to buy the cabanas. Only thing you had to do was go down there and get in it, which on the other side you had to pay. And also on my side, we had check-in and check-out was private, and you had your own bar. So the bar was premium. So there was different things at that bar. They also had different spots where you could eat breakfast. So it was very nice over there.
That's a question as far as the dining, because I believe you two did different things. One of you ate at the resort quite a bit. Rhonda, is that you?
That would be me. I'm the foodie, Julia.
Talk to us about that.
So there were different restaurants to appeal to different palates. There was an excellent seafood restaurant, which was located right on the water. So as you were eating, you had an awesome view. There was a Mexican restaurant, which was really good, an Italian restaurant. There was a buffet style marketplace restaurant on site. So in an Asian restaurant. So there were different types of cuisine and everything was really good. With hibachi, that was in the Asian restaurant had two sides. One was the hibachi side where you had to make a reservation, but then they had another area that didn't require reservations. And in all of the restaurants, with the exception of the Italian restaurant, dress was pretty casual. You did have to dress more formal for the Italian restaurant, but the food was excellent. And then there was a 24-hour cafe that sold snacks, drinks. That was awesome to have there as well, because there was a time frame where everything was closed down in terms of the restaurants and bars. So you did have another option in terms of food and beverages available in addition to room service.
And while we're talking...
Sorry.
While we're talking about that, go ahead, Bob.
I was just asking if there was a charge for room service.
No additional charge.
That's excellent.
Yes, room service was actually 24 hours and there was no additional charge. So that was great.
So if you're out late night in Mexico and you come back, hey, you can still eat.
Absolutely.
Now, you're talking about all of these things. It all sounds so normal. How were the protocols? Maybe you can take us from getting into Mexico, because I know you went to Mexico a few months back, and then now you've just recently gone again. Maybe you can take us through that, traveling there to Mexico, and then also at the resort, protocol-wise, what you noticed.
So I definitely noticed a difference in the entrance process. When I traveled to Mexico back in May, once we landed, there was an additional questionnaire that had to be completed before you could exit the airport. It wasn't the easiest to access, and it sort of delayed the process. However, when we went back this time, we were not required to complete an additional questionnaire at the airport. The process was pretty much BAU. It was smooth, and we made it through in, I want to say, maybe about 20 minutes or so after reaching the terminal. So it was definitely an improvement. It felt like things were getting back to normal. And then, of course, we had the 30-minute ride to the resort. And once we reached the resort, there was a certain area where a lounge area with a bar, where guests could wait until they were called to come and check in, because they had to follow certain protocols in terms of the number of people that were in the check-in area. But overall, the experience was great.
That's great to hear. Antoinette, any comments on that too, as well?
Well, because I was in the preferred area, once I arrived, they took me in the golf cart, and it was the same. We went to a different area, and they put you at the bar, and they had finger food for you. So we had hors d'oeuvres, and we sat and waited until your turn to check in. The seats were pretty separated. So 6 feet, yes, it was pretty separated. Nobody was close by, but they had people in there making sure you were very comfortable the whole time until it was your turn to come up.
Bob, yes.
Yeah. Going back to the preferred and non-preferred, what was the difference in price between the preferred and non-preferred? Do you remember?
It wasn't a huge difference. If I recall, it may have been like maybe $300 extra per room.
Mm-hmm. And how long were you there?
We were there for 5 days. I was there 5 days, 4 nights. Antoinette went down a day earlier. So it was awesome because she was able to meet the group, and they were ready for us to check in. They were expecting us. So it really helped expedite the check-in process.
And what about I'm probably jumping ahead, but what about the exit process of having to get the testing 72 hours before? How was that? Did the hotel provide that?
They did.
Yeah.
So well, they're AMR now. They were AM Resorts, but now they're AMR. They have what's called the Clean Complete program, which includes free testing to meet the U.S. requirements for reentry. They schedule your appointment when you check in you actually receive your card with the date and time, and then they have a certain facility set up on site that you go to, and you take your test. They have a waiting area. You get your results within like 15, 20 minutes max, and then you're on your way.
Wow, that's very good to know.
So it doesn't take a lot of time out of your vacation.
Exactly.
It's cool because Mexico really was the first to get their ducks in order when all this went down. And so it sounds like they really know what they're doing now. They've had so much experience that they're making it smooth and easy and safe, but just nice and comfortable from the sounds of it.
And just to add on to that, Julia, that was definitely the case. And also as a part of that program, in the event someone does test positive, their program includes 14 days of accommodations with no additional out-of-pocket expense to the traveler. So that was a definite perk for using AMR.
Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. Well, while we're all here, we do have a question from Tara, and she's asking, do you have the option for all-inclusive? So I don't know, Antoinette or Ron, if you want to take that.
So Secrets is an all-inclusive resort. Once you arrive, you don't have to pay for anything, meals, beverages, unless you decide that you want a premium bottled alcohol like champagne, certain brands of champagne. There's an additional fee associated with that. But for the most part, everything is included. So once I arrived, I put my purse away and just had fun.
And because it's an all-inclusive, there is no option, I believe, to say, no, I don't want the all-inclusive. I just want to stay at the resort. It's all or nothing.
Correct.
And then there's an option to go premium if you want. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to pull up a few more pictures here. And then Antoinette, any other highlights before we get to all the activities, but just as far as probably looking at where you stayed, do you have any other highlights that you'd like to mention compared to where Rhonda was?
Technically, from where she was and where I was, there wasn't a whole lot of different highlights. Yeah, if I went back, I probably still would stay over there because it was just absolutely beautiful. But the customer service on both sides are pretty much the same. Because we were with the group, I spent 90% of my time on the side where Rhonda and the other guests were, because I was the only person that stayed over there. And I actually went over there so we could see the difference in the rooms. So it was kind of like a review, just me going over there. Would I suggest it if people are heavy drinkers? Then yes, because as I said, the bar is a lot better. If people don't like being around a lot of people, maybe, but the pools at this point are not very crowded because the hotel is only at 50% anyway. So it's not like you're saying, oh, I'm going to go to this pool because if you can't find a seat. We found seats every day that we went. So there's not really a big difference.
Now I see shows right here. Were there shows? Did you guys see any of these shows?
There were shows outside, yes.
Oh, they were outside instead of inside.
Right. Yeah. So inside is still closed because of COVID. They haven't opened any of the indoor activities. But at night, they did have shows.
There were multiple lawn areas on the resort, and that's where they held the entertainment at night. For example, one night there was a fire show. They had different themes each night for the nightly entertainment.
One night there was a Mexican band. People were out dancing. So there were different things.
And talk to me. I know that you guys had a because you couldn't do things inside, and Antoinette got there the day before, and you guys organized all kinds of things. You had an opening pool party for the group because you couldn't do like an indoor event, so you guys did a cool outdoor pool party.
Yes. So we decided that we were going to have a meet and greet inside, but then we decided to have it poolside. So everybody was very comfortable. Everyone got in the pool. We laughed, we joked, we went to different groups. We talked, we met other people from other states that decided that they wanted to party with us as well. Rhonda was networking a lot while we were down there with people from other locations. After the bar closed, we ordered Azul because they had the bottle service, and people were still drinking and taking shots. And at night we brought champagne out for our group, and they were drinking, and we had a great time. They really, after the opening meet and greet, it was like Rhonda does a text group. They wanted to know where we were at, where we were going, and what we were doing. So they are really excited, and people enjoy traveling with us because it's not like they have to make up what they want to do while they're gone, because we give them a great optional itinerary.
Mm-hmm.
Our only requirement to travel with us is that you like to have fun.
Yes.
How was Wi-Fi included, and how did you avoid not having to pay long distance charges for people for the text program? Did they have something internal you could use?
So they do offer free Wi-Fi service throughout the resort.
Yes.
And I would say everyone did join. So even if you were down at the pool, you still had access to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it wasn't restricted to your room or the lobby. It was resort wide.
Right. You just had to put your room number in.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic. And we have another question here from Kathleen. How far is the resort from the airport?
30 minutes.
Oh, easy. And I want to know, how far was it from the preferred area to the other area walking?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Yes, about 5 minutes. Maybe not that long. I walk slow.
So Julia, just to give you an idea, the way the resort is set up, they have different buildings. I want to say it may have been seven or eight buildings. And buildings on one side of the resort are categorized as the preferred buildings, and then the other side would be your standard buildings. But it wasn't very far at all. And it's not restricted access to the buildings, just restricted access to the amenities that the preferred club offers, like the pool and the lounge with the premium alcohol.
And only thing they do is they may ask you your room number. So, but once you go a couple of times, they get to know you. But they will just say, hey, what's your room number? Because they know, I think it's building 6, 7, and 8. Those are the preferred buildings.
Oh yeah, they're the closer. I'm looking at a map. That's why I pulled up the map when you were talking about it. Yeah, those are closer to the water. 8 looks like the most expensive one because it's right facing the ocean with the walkout pools.
I was in 7.
Okay, very nice. What kind of activities did they offer? I know that they have a shooting range and all these other type things. Did they have any like water sports, and did you have to pay extra for those if you went to the ocean, like on skiing or anything like that?
Well, it's not a swimmable beach.
Okay.
They're at the beach, but it's not swimmable. They do have water activities, but it was more like aerobic activities. They had water cycling. They had every day they did water aerobics. They had a cycling tour that was free, so you could go get on a bike and go cycling around the area. They did have the archery. They had shooting. There were a lot of different activities. Rhonda, can you think of some more?
Golf.
And then the resort is located on a golf course. So we did have some golfers in our party who did take advantage of using the course, which you can do at a discounted rate if you're staying at Secrets.
Nice.
Well, and yes, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, well, just one thing. When I was looking at this resort in preparation for talking with you, this resort seems to be pretty far from other ones. It seems a lot different than Cancun, where there's a resort, then a resort, then a resort. This one looks like there's a lot of space, distance between the next resort that's to the left or right. Is that so?
And it is, but that's a positive thing about traveling with us, Bob. You don't need to go to the other resorts and do other things because we have so many activities that we're getting you to do. We even did a off-site excursion for people, and we went downtown for them to see that as well. So there's other things we have for them to do. So no one really, we didn't hear anybody complain about being away from everybody else.
Oh, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying that the distance looks remarkable, considering when you go to Cancun, there's a property here and then there's a property right next to it. This one, there's a lot of green space from what I see between this property and the next closest.
Oh yeah, we couldn't see
resort.
another property. We
It's
didn't
more
see another at all.
secluded. It's more secluded in the area. There were, I believe, there are 2 or 3 other resorts that are in the immediate area. But to your point, Bob, they aren't close. And then there are a lot of private homes on the beach in the area. So it's actually an exclusive area in Cabo.
Very nice.
I'm trying to see if I can show you that exactly what you were just mentioning. How
well, in some of the pictures you've shown, I've seen that there's a large spread. This is totally unlike the east coast of Mexico.
I mean, yeah. Just can you see that, Bob?
Yes, I can. It's gorgeous.
It's just spectacular that view and that remoteness. You're not on top of people.
Yeah. See, from the East Coast here in Florida, we're so used to Cancun. 2-hour flight, you're there nonstop. This requires a little more distance to get there, but this is definitely something that I think our guests would like.
Okay.
And the endorsement from you two is good because when you have people who've been there and who love the property, as you obviously do, that shows no matter what you say, it shows through. Because every time you mention it, I see big smiles on both of you. Of course, Annette, I've known you for years. You've always had a smile.
It was absolutely wonderful. I can't wait. We have a couple of more excursions that we're putting together for 2022.
Very nice.
So I can't wait.
When are you going to go back? Do you have a date in mind? Are you going back to this resort? Or are you trying something different?
Something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mexico is on the list, though.
But again, if you'd like to go, these ladies are the experts. They know their stuff. So if you'd like to go, with your own group or just, on your own, it's also a nice romantic getaway. So I wanted to show a few of the pictures. Now we've been showing kind of the resort on a whole, but I want to show a little bit about what these ladies got up to. Let's see some of your pictures here. So here's the golf that I think some of your friends were golfing in your group.
Yeah, we actually could see them from the pool.
Oh, that's cool.
When they rode by from the pool, we stopped and we saw them on like they said they had like 3 holes left out of 18 holes. They were like,
did you go up with, did you bring rescue drinks to them?
No, actually they said every 3 holes, they had a station where you could get Gatorade, beer, water, and snacks.
Wow.
It was included in their fee.
Wow.
Yes.
How much did the golf cost? Just off, do you know how much the golf cost roughly?
I do. If you were not staying at Secrets, it's $210. Wow. But if you're a guest, you receive a 20% discount.
Okay. And they provide the clubs and everything for you.
They had to rent. They rented their clubs. They didn't bring their own, so they rented some.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, and Steve Hayes is asking, do they have a shuttle service into Cabo proper? And is there any additional charge?
That resort does not have a shuttle into Cabo. However, taxi service is abundant. Of course, you can always arrange private transportation if you prefer, but there is no shuttle.
Okay.
And then here's, I guess, a nighttime view. Where is this picture taken from here?
It was next to the lobby bar. When you go outside from the lobby bar, it was an overview of the pool area.
And what is this? What are we looking at here?
Antoinette, that was I
went horseback riding.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we horseback rode. It was horseback riding in the desert.
And then we've got the pool.
Right.
And shortly we should be coming up to some extra fun here. Let's see here. We've got some food.
Yes, that was enchiladas from the Mexican restaurant.
Whose room do we have here?
That was when we did a tour. That was the room on the tour of the resort, and that was on the preferred club side. However, the internal decor for the rooms is the same, whether you're on the preferred side or the general side. The only difference was all preferred rooms. Unless you had a swim out, you had a jacuzzi on the balcony, but otherwise the decor was the same.
Right.
Okay, and then we've got more.
There's
everything's
food,
moving fast. We're moving fast. Okay, here we have
a swim out.
That
was my room.
Oh, wow.
And
I know, I love the swim out. And this
The swim
is
out,
bathroom.
it looks very private. It looks like you can go to the water for a bit of a distance without people on either side of you looking at you. That's
correct.
And then we've got, is there a show going on over there, or is that just a restaurant? I see lights in the distance there.
There was a show. Yeah.
Very cool.
A Moroccan band.
Now we get to some of the wild parties, the boat parties. Talk to us about this, Antoinette.
So Rhonda is the guru on finding the activities. She has a group that she works with called Rockstar, and they do an all-inclusive boat ride. It included free drinks, which were margaritas. We had food, margaritas, and it came with a live DJ on the boat. And we did, it came with something else too. We did shots. And we did what you just saw the lady doing. We did a champagne shower. So at the end, to celebrate, they just shake up champagne bottles and throw it all over you. We also parked the boat so people can jump off the boat and dive. So we had a great time. Oh, and it comes with a photographer. So he takes over 100 pictures, downloads them, and sends them to you.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. I mean,
that was our host.
You guys know where to find the party.
Yeah. How much was that cost per person?
It was $105 per person.
And for about 3 hours, 4 hours?
3 hours, yes.
And how many people came back sober? Never mind. You don't have to answer that. The kids are watching.
I did.
I did not.
Antoinette was looking out after everybody.
I was trying to make sure everybody enjoyed themselves, and they were giving shots of tequila, walking around doing shots of tequila. I was making sure everyone just had a great time.
I mean, hey, when in Mexico, right?
Yes.
What happens in Mexico stays in Mexico.
I love it. Well, everybody, if you have any more questions, do place them in the comments right now while we are still on here. Again, if you are looking to travel to Mexico, if you're looking for a group trip or somewhere like Secrets Puerto Los Cabos, Ronda and Antoinette are here for you and ready to help you book a fun trip. They won't let you go without making sure that you're going to have a good time, whether it's horseback riding or a party boat or just hanging out by the pool, because they've been traveling a lot, testing out different resorts. I know over these past months, call us at gotravel.com and we will connect you with anyone from the team will connect you with someone in your local community and be able to send you on a fantastic trip. In a second, I'm going to ask both Antoinette and Rhonda to give some final words, any final comments before we go. But in the end, you're not going to want to miss our last video on our end here, which is all about the taco. And we're going to take you a little trip around Mexico and the taco. Antoinette, though, why don't you let us know some final words before we end today?
I'm just excited that the world is beginning to open back up. We're able to travel again, have a great time, enjoy life. That's what we believe in. Me and Rhonda, we're over the top when it comes down to travel. We just want everyone to have a good time. And thank you so very much for giving us this opportunity today to express how we felt about our trip.
Love it. Rhonda?
I feel like she said it all, Julia. Again, the only thing I would add is our only requirement is that you want to have fun, and we will make sure that you do that. We're here to provide you with an awesome vacation experience.
Fantastic. Bob, any final words?
Well, I just want to say that I've known Antoinette for many years and Rhonda for many years also. They are excellent travel agents. They know their product. They know what they're doing. If they don't know it, they know to ask for it. So for those friends of Rhonda and Antoinette who may be looking at this, have absolutely every faith in their ability to provide a vacation beyond your expectations.
And if you're looking to reach out and you would like to go on a trip with Rhonda or Antoinette and or would like it planned by them, just reach out to us at gotravel.com and say, Rhonda, Antoinette, we're ready for you, and we will connect you. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to put together this video now and to learn all about the taco. And in the meantime, we'll see you next week, Tuesday Travel Chat right here at 2:00. As always, thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Antoinette. Bye-bye, Rhonda.
Bye.